过 Intel Sustainability Taiwan Day 的活动，将最新的科技及业界协同合作的阶段性成果与各位分享。这也是英特尔首次在全球举办此一活动，期待透过分享与交流，与台湾产官学研界携手并进，引领更能促进环境永续发展的运算科技。Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Intel Sustainability Taiwan Day. In the face of the challenges posed by climate change, Intel is making real progress towards more sustainable computing through systems change, technological innovation, and industry-wide collaboration. We look forward to sharing the latest technology with you through the Intel Sustainability Taiwan Day and continuing to lead the way to a more sustainable future.
We've taken steps before to combat climate change, but we have to do more. Now we must act on an even greater scale. The next big stride in our commitment to sustainability is made by reducing our direct environmental impact, designing more sustainable products from the ground up, and working together to achieve our collective ambitions. This is the foundation for how we can be better. And together, this is how we will do something wonderful.
To begin the day, please welcome to the stage Steve Long, Corporate VP and GM of APJ Sales, Marketing and Communications Group, Intel. 首先有请英特尔企业副总裁暨亚太日本区总经理 Steve Long。
你好，你好，欢迎，欢迎，我是 Steve Long。And like I said about a month ago, I'm still working on my Mandarin. Welcome today to the event. Today is our first ever Intel Sustainability Taiwan Day. Just a month ago, I got to stay in front of you a month ago at our Intel Innovation event, which I think many of you participated in. I know some of our partners and customers were there with us, sharing some of their innovations. And we're excited today to bring, a month later, another discussion about exciting innovation all around what matters. As leaders and stewards of the industry, it's all about sustainability and all about us making the world a better place. We have, while we lead in innovation and in the things that we do in this room, we also have a responsibility. And in that responsibility today, what we really wanted to do with this event was two things. It was bring the industry together so we can share some of the things that we believe we can do together and improve, and not only our operations and our products, but the things that we do with our partners. So it's about sharing. And number two, it's about connection and sparking ideas in each of you and how we can advance the industry. So with that in mind, we know that we can't do this alone, and we can only do it with and through each and all of our partners, which is again why we're excited that you can participate in the showcase and that you're here today to learn and connect with us. I will not go through this agenda, but you've seen it, but we have an action-packed, we think a robust agenda with Intel speakers, but also our industry partners. Our Intel speakers you're going to hear from are going to talk to you about some of what Intel's doing, the responsibility that we see again in our own operations, and how we're improving our products. And then as equally important, how our partners can participate through our products to make their own sustainability efforts more visible. You're also going to hear through some of our partners who in their, I see them here at the front, who in their own operations have taken advantage of some of the partnerships and the products that we have and created solutions. So hopefully that sparks some ideas and innovations. There's over 4 NDA tracks with over 10 other ecosystem partner sessions in the breakouts where you're going to have an opportunity, whether you're in the client space, whether you're at the edge in the network, or whether you are focused on the data center side or in the infrastructure side. Limitless opportunities to engage, to connect, and dialogue, and we're excited about that. Before I hand over to Christoph Schell, let me just say a big round of thank you to all of our sponsors. We could not do this without all of you. It takes an industry. I say this country is the lifeline of this industry, and it takes a village. You can see all the names on there. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We really appreciate your engagement. We appreciate you being here, and we appreciate your time. Thank you to the Intel team as well. It takes an effort to put this on. Yes, we're back to face-to-face events, and that's exciting, but it still comes with all of the gymnastics and the challenges so that we are safe and in the way that we do this. So last, thank you all for making time to do this. And without further ado, let me pass the stage to Christoph Schell, who is our Executive Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer, and my boss, Christoph.
All right, maybe there's no voice of God, which is fine. I'm so happy to be here. Christoph Schell, I'm sorry for this accent. It's not American, it's German, okay? I'm sorry for that. And I'm not working on my Mandarin anymore. I'm purely working on my English these days, okay? So don't wait for that. The reason why I'm happy to be here in Taiwan over the last 3 years, when somebody didn't live in Taiwan, but was in the technology industry, all we wanted was to live in Taiwan, okay? To get to match sets. So that was really my number one ambition over the last 3 years. I joined Intel 8 months ago, and I'm really happy to be here at a time that is so very important for our industry, but also so important for many other industries that we in Intel and that you all influence. And actually I want to talk a bit about this today. Intel has a very long-standing commitment to sustainability, and I will talk about sustainability today, but I will actually also talk about energy management, and how our industry can have a really deep impact on how we can revolutionize how we manage energy. Intel has in the last 10 years reduced its greenhouse gas emissions by 75%, and that was based on a plan that we had, and we executed that plan. The challenge now is that there's 25% left, okay? So we're in the last mile here, but this last mile is more difficult to accomplish, and it requires a village, okay? It requires all of us that we operate in this ecosystem to get us to our target of 100% green gas emission avoidance, okay? And so we'll talk a little bit about that. I need your help, okay? You are uniquely positioned in Taiwan to help Intel, and I think we are uniquely positioned to help Taiwan, okay? If you want to come with us on this journey. What is so important over the last 2.5 years, over these COVID years, is that the way the world has changed has accelerated. Digitization has accelerated, and it will continue. It will continue even in a post-COVID world. If you think about the disruption in healthcare, 3 years ago, it was impossible to think about home care, sharing in many countries data that was really considered highly patient confidential during a virtual call, a Zoom call, a Teams call, whatever you call it. Today, that's normal business. We got used to it. Having your kids learn from home. 3 years ago, impossible. Now, it's normal. Actually, my daughter, she really has to get used going back in person to class. She prefers to have classes virtually. Strange. 3 years ago, we wouldn't have believed that. Other industries that are changing. Think about automotive, the good old combustion engine. I'm German, I told you. And now automotive is going E. The amount of semiconductors in cars is going to go through the roof. A huge opportunity for all of us in the room, but also a huge responsibility. So you see this disruption happening across multiple industries. I had the pleasure of managing a 3D printing business a couple of years ago. And there were really great ideas about how to go to digital manufacturing. So instead of shipping into supply chain parts, you don't ship parts anymore, you ship electronic files, and you print parts where and when they are required. That was a vision, that was a dream. What was missing at the time, and I'm really talking about 2016, 2017, what was missing was a 5G network, edge computing, and the ability to have AI on the edge. Fast forward to 2022, it's possible. And so the impact that technology has on these industries, but the impact that technology also has on sustainability and how we think about supply chains differently, how we think about manufacturing technologies differently, the role we play, all of us now, in manufacturing for goods that we don't understand because we are all from the IT world, that is what is changing. We're getting an integral part in the value proposition, in the value chain of all of these vertical industries. And with that, there's a huge responsibility. In all of this digitization, wherever you are, there's one thing in common. You need chips. You can't do it without chips. The second piece that is important, the chip alone will not help you. All of us, we will be selling systems, very often software-defined systems, where the engagement with the customer changes. It's not a transactional, here, buy my chip. It's buy my system, buy my solution. I will invest with you. We will enjoy the outcome together. It's a very different mindset, a very different way of how we can all go to market. Now, Taiwan is, as I said, at the heart of this, and Intel has been in Taiwan for a very long time. We invested into Taiwan in 1985. We have approximately 1,000 employees here across 2 sites. One is in Taipei and one is in Hsinchu. We have people here that are in sales, people that are in R&D, people that are in customer support, and we have a little pretty operation here where we kind of cover all the values that you need in order to run a business. So we can help you across the value chain if you want to partner with us. So why do I focus on sustainability practices? 3 reasons. I touched on a couple of them already. Number 1, I'm a father of 2 kids. I want to make sure that this planet is in as good a shape as it can be for these kids and for the next generation. And I think our generation has some work to do, okay? We are focusing on this maybe a little bit too late. So that's my personal assessment, it doesn't have to be yours, but I'm really keen to give it a sense of urgency. The second piece is what I just said. Some of the technologies are ready now. Edge computing, 5G networking, private networks, how we think about AI and how we bring AI solutions is possible now, hasn't been possible before. And third, I'm in sales because it sells, okay? And that's very important. I want to talk a little bit about this. The reason why a lot of us are looking into sustainability might not be my number 1 or my number 2 reason, it's my number 3 reason. It sells. Customers are asking us for our contribution to their sustainability strategy. A lot of RFQs and RFPs that you're responding to is not about your technology. It's about the greenhouse gas emissions, the carbon footprint emissions, how you think about that, how you're reducing it, not just in your own operation, but also for your customer. That is a conversation that in 25 years of selling, I only started having 4 or 5 years ago. And I lived in various countries. You know, I lived in Australia and covered New Zealand. These are 2 countries that were far ahead from a sustainability point of view. And they already 10 years ago, they started. In the US, when I moved to the US in 2014, there was no RFP that had a sustainability clause in it that I remember. Over the last couple of years, it has gone through the roof. There's something else that is very interesting. A lot of executive compensation, so people in the room, my compensation, could be based on sustainability improvements. So if I want to make a bonus, I need to improve the sustainability metrics of the company I'm working for and of the engagement of the customer I have. So this is important because you need to understand your audience, who you're selling to, what's the motivation, okay? And when you look in the showroom on the other side, the demo showcase, you will understand why what we do is so important for our customers and how they measure their sustainability goals. I talked about 5G and edge. Let me give you 2 examples. If you look at the smart city operations and what is possible because of 5G networks and edge computing to manage peaks of traffic hours and manage traffic flow in a more dynamic way because of edge and AI, second to none. Okay, it's a great solution, great use case. We are talking to various cities in the world about this. Another use case, and this one is very dear to my heart. I talked about energy in the beginning. So a lot of us have customers that are in the data center world. A lot of you are operating data centers, or you're providing solutions for data centers. One of the main reasons of main growth inhibitor for data centers today is what? Any idea? Energy. It's the amount of energy that they can bring to the data center. Do you know why? Because energy grids are very old-fashioned. Energy grids are one-directional. You feed an energy grid through a nuclear power plant, or because you're burning coal, or because you have gas. The energy flows into the grid. It comes out at the other end, at a home, at a factory, at a business. You cannot introduce energy from any other point into this grid, and you also cannot have energy flow back if you don't need it. It's one directional. It's a point-to-point system, okay? Let's call it an analog system. We have a huge opportunity to evolve how we think about energy grids. We can go to smart energy grids. And what it requires is, guess what? 5G, edge, AI, software. Yes, there's silicon, but you need the other things to really make it work. How does it work? So imagine I invest into wind or solar. Today, I can do that, but I cannot get that energy easily into the grid. So I need to have a grid that is software informed, that is omnidirectional, so not just two ways, but any way. And I need to be able to manage peaks, the intermittent loads. That's where AI comes into play. The amount of edge computing that happens managing an energy grid is huge. And the amount of business opportunity all of us have to make this work is also huge. In order to go from, I'll simplify this, from analog to smart, the world will have to invest 600 billion every year for the next 10 years. Huge business. So all of us should, this is my third point, okay? It's good for business. We should really look at this, okay? Because nobody, I will claim this, nobody will make it work without the people in the room. No smart grid will exist without people in the room here bringing it to life. I talked about software. Imagine this. Software is, an energy grid is really as classic infrastructure as you can think about, okay? I mean, it doesn't get more infrastructure than that. But we're talking about software-defined infrastructure here. And so the business model that we need to get into is not an infrastructure-based business model, but an as-a-service business model. And so that's something else all of us have to learn. We have to learn how to pivot our business into as-a-service business models in order to make this work, in order to have skin in the game, and in order to tell our customers that we are there for them and that we're helping them deliver this. Intel is uniquely positioned. When you take my energy example, it requires software, ideally an open platform, because I want all of you to participate. I want all the developers to participate. We don't believe in Intel, in closed software systems and platforms. You will require silicon. That's what started to bring us all together. But we need to evolve from there. There will be huge service opportunities for us. It's the gift that keeps on giving, okay? You're selling as a service. You're in the fabric of the customer. We can help bring this to life. We can cross-sell and upsell. So from a sales point of view, really, really interesting. And you have the opportunity to think about packaging on top of this. So how we think about foundry services in the future is changing because of the type of solutions and outcomes that our customers are asking for. In all of this, you will have choice. You can go to different companies, but one of the companies I want you to consider talking to is us, is Intel. Not just for the silicon piece, but for everything. The silicon, the software, the service, even the foundry. The team told me that in Taiwan, you're having a very big discussion as an ecosystem. So the people in the room here about, hey, how can we reduce our carbon footprint? How can we be more energy efficient? And how do we change the plane of the engine while flying it? So how can we do this from a business continuity point of view? We cannot just drop everything the way we're doing it today and pivot. So there needs to be a transition. We're going through the same thing at Intel. Okay, the exactly same questions. We have some very good examples with customers where we are leaning in. We're having some breakthrough technologies where we can help, and we have 2 ears to listen as well to maybe what you can bring to the party and where you can help us. So this idea of embracing an ecosystem, something that we've done from our initiation, is at the core of this, okay, and something that we want to continue doing together with you. We're one of the world's leading semiconductor design and manufacturing companies, and so how we drive our efforts on sustainability and greenhouse gas reduction does have a massive impact on the industry, on other industries, and on you as an ecosystem. That's one of the reasons why we created the Semiconductor Climate Consortium, which is an industry-wide partnership that is really looking at how can we jointly reduce greenhouse gas. Earlier this year, we also announced that we're creating a computing effort, if you want, for a sustainable future. We committed that we would go to net zero greenhouse gases by the year 2040 for our own manufacturing, which is a massive commitment, okay, because it's only 18 years from now, actually 17, and there's still a lot of work for us to do. We will need your help. Some of you are manufacturing on our behalf, so we will need you in this endeavor in order to reach that. But we also said that we want to drop our greenhouse gas emissions at least by another 30% in between now and 2030. So I talked about the 75% reduction. We are now committing to another 30%. And again, the first 75% were easy, okay, relatively. But now it requires a much more coordinated effort across all of us. Jen, my colleague, she will join later on, and she will give you a couple of more examples in order to make this real, okay, on how we're working today with the ecosystem and also with some of our customers. Now, this is a huge opportunity for all of us. I really want you to embrace this. As a father, I want you to embrace this because the impact that we have on so many industries and on so many lives is absolutely second to none. I appreciate your attention. Thank you very much, and I hope to mingle with you after this session. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Christoph. 谢谢 Christoph. Next to talk about Intel's sustainability strategy, the path to sustainable computing, please welcome Jen Hubsteller, Chief Product Sustainability Officer, VP and GM of Future Platform Strategy and Sustainability Intel. 接下来让我们有请英特尔产品永续长及资料中心与 AI 事业群未来平台永续策略总经理 Jen Hubsteller.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Christoph, for a wonderful opening. Really honored to be here today in this room, and I think we all have a personal connection, whether you have children. Oh, that's funny. Thank you. We all have a personal connection to this future, for whether it's our own children, nieces, nephews, or the community we live in. So this is a new role that I have at Intel, and I'm so excited about it because I get to be on a mission to help our customers and with our ecosystem partners like you to lower their environmental footprint. As Christoph talked, that will be to lower it in terms of their energy consumption, their carbon, water, and waste. These are all elements of sustainability, and we want to ensure that we're focused on all of those aspects, but energy is a pretty big and important one, and we'll talk about some of the advances there today. Additionally, we have this mission to advance sustainable computing practices across the entire ecosystem so that together we can drive a global impact. I think everyone would agree that global impact for the computing industry starts right here in Taiwan. I'll be sharing examples of how we have been advancing sustainability on our own and together with our partners here today. So I wanted to start with our vision. This is what guides us. It is simply stated, sustainable computing for a sustainable future. We know that computing is embedded into the fabric of our lives, from healthcare to logistics, banking, transportation, and throughout our societal connections, right? Social media, our family, this is how we connect. This is not a one company mission that we're on. The key to bringing this vision to life is to unite the industry on this journey. And we are delighted that you joined us here today to learn more about how you and your company can help to join us on this journey. This vision is Intel's North Star. We have 3 main efforts underway. The first, as Christoph talked about, is to lower our manufacturing and our supply chain footprint. The second is to architect from the ground up with sustainability design criteria across the entirety of the platform lifecycle. So that means not just when you deliver the product to your customer, but while it's running in use, and then again at the end of life. That has to be spanned across products, platforms, and software solutions. And the third most important pillar that we would invite you to join us on is developing standards and specifications. One of the biggest obstacles that we face in this industry as we're embarking on it is that there aren't a lot of common standards around silicon systems, workloads, and that's something that we want to help bring to the industry together so that together we have a common bar of what good looks like. This is a holistic approach that Intel is taking to reduce the embodied and the operational carbon, water, and waste. And with all of your help, together we can create this era of sustainable computing. Let me take that back and rephrase. Together we are creating the era of sustainable computing. So let's take a look at some of the joint innovations that we have together and through the ecosystem partners across the PC, the edge, and the data center. Let's start first with the PC. Innovations are happening in energy efficiency, carbon reduction, and circularity. We have 3 examples that we'll step through, and of the many that exist out there. These are not the only 3. With the MPG Trident system from MSI, the Intel NUC, and the Evo-based Acer Vero platform. Let's take a closer look inside. I saw this one myself over in the demo showcase earlier. The MSI gaming system, it passes the most stringent energy regulations worldwide. And it's built on this foundation and this innovative spec called the ATX 12VO 2.0 spec. This enables MSI to lower the system idle power. That's the actual demo that you'll see in the showcase when you go over there. And this reduces the power consumption and the electricity usage. What I saw over there was by 30% in that example. That's really impressive. You go back to the number 1 problem for the industry is we're wasting energy. This is a perfect innovation of reducing the energy footprint of that system. Next up is the Intel NUC. So this has many sustainable features in this product line. It includes reduced packaging in terms of how it's put together and delivered to the customers, but it also has 75% recycled plastic into the chassis. That's really, as Christoph was talking about business needs, RFPs are starting to look for a certain percentage of recycled material within the products that we jointly need to deliver together to the industry. So this is really a great example of that, but we have another one we'll show you next as well. The innovation that I want to talk about today on this was something that we did in the manufacturing process, something that we would like to share with you. We innovated something called low temperature solder. And when this was put into our manufacturing process, we were able to lower the electricity consumption by 25%. So, you're talking about the entire life cycle of the product, starting up front in the manufacturing. How much energy are each of us burning and wasting, and how can we reduce that in each and every phase of the entire product life cycle? This technology is proven. We started working on it in 2019, and to date, we've shipped over 4 million units. We have had 0 reports of low temperature solder failure, quality, or reliability field returns. And we are delighted to share our best known methods with the industry so that we can scale across the ecosystem this type of innovation. The last PC in our lineup is the Acer Vero PC. It's an Evo platform. This PC is a phenomenal example of sustainability in a system that is sleek, powerful, and environmentally friendly. This Evo platform meets EPEAT silver requirements, which means that it has over 23 of the required criteria and a minimum of 14 optional criteria. This is across domains of materials reduction, product longevity, and energy conservation. There are additional features inside called the Intel Dynamic Tuning Technology. This is a power management feature inside our silicon. We have taken AI and ML algorithms and embedded them into the silicon such that you can have real-time optimization across performance, thermals, and battery life. OEMs can configure that software specifically for your own solution. This delivers better power management, which of course translates into better battery life and lower energy consumption. I'd like to welcome Tiffany Long from Acer, the Chief Operating Officer, to the stage to discuss Acer's efforts in sustainability.
Good to see
you.
Good to see you. Okay. Okay.
So I know.
Yes. I can help you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
We only have one.
I know Acer's been working with its partners in sustainability for a long time. So
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit more?
Yes. I think back to what we try to say. I think you mentioned about Acer Aspire Zero, and then what we did is we feel the increasing number of natural disasters triggered by climate change, and we all feel the pain. And there's something we have to do as a corporate, and then to share what's the effort we can do, okay? And then so we actually invite a lot of suppliers and partners to say what we can do together to create so-called sustainable solution to tackle our harmful environment as of this moment, and we need to tackle these issues to be reduce a lot of waste. Okay?
And what's the name of that platform, that program?
The program is called Earthian. The Earthian is a combination word of Earth mission. It's a platform we launched last year. And the purpose of this platform is really to bring partners, suppliers together to put more effort on the sustainable solution. And it tackles 6 areas, including from the logistics, product design, production, packaging, and then recycling, etc. So the purpose is really to collaborate all partners' creative and effort to make sure we can create so-called sustainable solution, and that we develop our Aspire Zero. And more important is this platform we can share partners' story and how they contribute to the sustainable solution. And more important is to stimulate the idea together. And more, I believe the more we can do, the more sustainable solution it can come up.
Sounds fantastic. So you've also launched your flagship eco-conscious laptop, the Aspire Zero, that I talked about. What's unique about that compared to other green products?
Okay. Zero lineup is an eco-conscious device and offer consumer the choice of a greener option. And remember, this device, we actually create a very unique ID and tell people this is recycled material, made by recycled material. And we try to incorporate eco-friendly and recycled material, and most important, to reduce the use of the material and then reduce the overall waste. And more important, we continue to spend the lifespan of our product.
Really important. So how is it different from previous products? Anything else to add?
Okay. The Zero product is very different from what we did before. This is first focus in a green focused laptop, and then first, because it's portable, we still want to use a recycled material, but we use 30% on the whole chassis. And then even if portable, will make it sustainable and with security resistant. And then also on the keyboard, we use a 50% keyboard on the keycap, and we have the ocean bond on the touchpad, and also we have a green panel and being produced in a green factory. And then overall, we try to reduce the pollution from production of the virgin plastic and overall waste. So this is how we try to create so-called Acer Zero.
That's a lot of innovation. Can the folks see that here today?
Yes, of course you can see that. And then, by the way, this product is based on the Intel Evo platform. Okay, and then we incorporate the premium design and also the great performance with the optimization between low power component, also power efficiency. So we do this not only for one product. Actually, we try to extend from the Vero consumer notebook to Vero commercial to all-in-one to desktop to monitor to projector to accessory, and then overall we try to implement so-called reduce and recycle plastic into all the products, and then also with an eco design. This is something we try to do a lot. Okay.
You've not only implemented sustainable features in your products, but across your operations and supply chain as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. I think we moving from product design to manufacturing, we understand there's hidden environmental impact to our society, right? So, and part of the industry revolution is pushing our environment to go beyond our boundary. So what we try to do is we have to tackle those harmful impact. And then so we start up with our partner. I think some of you are here. Is we work with AUO, Compel, Innolux, Quanta, and then many suppliers. Try to create and upgrade our waste management system. For example, what we try to do is focus on the plastic waste and also chemical surveillance. So this is something we try because I think every step we can do a little bit more, it can help this environment.
Yes, it can. It's going to take the village, as Christophe was saying.
Yes.
So last, can you share some examples of carbon reduction?
Yes, of course. When we visit our production, it starts from the baseline. We use a lot of plastic bag. Amazing, right? Because we try to protect the product from new component from supplier to ODM, for example. Then we visit the whole process and say, why do we use so many? So we do with our partners say, can we use the recyclable bulk pack industry package so we can transfer them back and forth and without creating more plastic bag. This is a baseline. But once we start to do it, we say, actually we can save $1 million of plastic just within a month, right? And then also we find an alternative way of shipping the product. We are not wasting any logistic capacity. We try to fully load them. Then we can reduce our carbon emission. And also we develop the so-called carbon accounting system. Try to understand where we are today and how much we can save. Because with all the numbers, you know, you need to do something. Last but not least, we have to work hand in hand with our partner because we try to need to bring the change to our production environment and then also to create so-called responsible production. Okay. So this is something we did, and we are not only stopped here. Actually, we announced we want to do on the 2035 with the RE100. So we are pledged to source 100% renewable energy for Asia Group. So today, honest, we did 40% around all Asia office with green energy, but there's much more we need to do. So I'm very excited to continue to work with Intel to deliver the greener solution, and then we believe together we can make the world a better place. Okay, so thanks for having me here to share, and then I hope you all go to take a look at our Aspire Vero. Believe me, to make a polo product with recycled material without reduce the lifespan and educate user with affordable pricing to encourage them to make a green choice. It's not easy, but we try to do it, and we can do this to consumer, and we can do that to commercial, and I believe all of you can do more than you can imagine today. Okay? Thank you.
Really outstanding example. Thank you so much,
Tiffany,
for sharing your innovation here today. Now let's take a look at the data center. There's 3 specific innovations that I'd like to highlight today around reducing the embodied and the operational carbon in the Xeon processors specifically, reducing the power usage effectiveness of the data center at large through liquid cooling, and then extending the life and the reuse of componentry through modularity. So let's start first with the processor. So we know that compute performance in a sustainable world, energy efficiency is going to be a critical metric. Now, the 4th gen Xeon Scalable processor has the most built-in accelerators of any Xeon built to date. Now, this is really important because over our decades of building these processors, we've been identifying the workloads that matter most to the customers and working to remove those bottlenecks. That's why we have these built-in accelerators. They deliver real-world workload performance. And this is in use cases in AI, HPC, storage, security, and networking. The Xeon also, in addition to these incredible accelerators, which again improve the workload and lower the efficiency for those critical use cases, we also have these low power states. We have the Xeon P state, we have C state, and these are power controls that modulate the electricity consumption. You know, you can look out for more innovations from Intel in this space in the near future. The Xeon also has advanced telemetry tools. And when you couple that with AI, you can monitor, measure, and control the power management and the carbon emissions when you couple it with tools like the Intel Data Center Manager. And last but not least, Christoph didn't go through one of the metrics that I'm most proud of for Intel actually, is this use of renewable electricity. So part of how we got to that 75% reduction is that we are now at over 90% renewable electricity for our global operations, and 100% in many locations as well. That means that the 4th gen Intel Xeon processor is built with 90 to 100% renewable electricity. This is, you know, semiconductor industry leading for these data center class processors. That directly helps our customers lower their carbon footprint, because when you start to think about the accounting, that we're part of our customers' scope 3. And this is something that we have invested in for decades, and we're able to then transfer, you know, that benefit to our customers. But Xeon provides a sustainability advantage, not just at the CPU level, but also data center wide. And so we're working with many partners here today. You can see some of the innovation in the demo showcase around how we're working to reduce data center PUE. So let's talk about this. So the energy efficiency PUE, it's really the power that goes into the data center divided by the amount used to power the IT equipment. And a simple, for air cooling, globally, you'll probably see 1.6 to 1.8 PUE. And the best achievable metric with air cooling is 1.3 to 1.2. Now, liquid cooling, it's really time, because so anything that's above 1.0 is wasted energy. Like Christoph talked about, it's the common theme through all of this. How are we saving that energy? With liquid cooling, we can get a PUE down to 1.03. It can be up to 50% energy savings, 20% carbon emission reductions, depending on the use case. There's 2 types of liquid cooling that we're investing in. The first is cold plate, and you'll see examples of that in the demo showcase. This is really great for, you know, scaling immediately into existing data centers, right? They're already ready to take advantage of some of these solutions. The next piece is immersion. And you're going to see in the coming years, and we're working with some of these partners, the most sustainable data centers on the planet will be immersion. Now, for a current existing data center, there's some facilities upgrading that's needed, but for a greenfield, if you're designing your data center around that, that means you're going to have greater compute density, a lower footprint, and a much lower PUE than you would get otherwise. And one of the things we don't talk a lot about when we talk about immersion cooling is you're actually reducing the data center footprint as well. So there's just incredible amounts of carbon benefits, because concrete and buildings are actually one of the other major contributors to carbon emissions for a data center. We have partners who have done some validation on cold plate with us for the 4th gen Xeon Scalable, and they include Cool IT, Behe, and Zutacore. We also have, from our local Taiwan ecosystem here, this open IP immersion cooling reference solution. That's the big blue boxes taking up the majority of the right-hand side of the demo showcase. So to build confidence and scale in the ecosystem, Intel released the first ever immersion warranty rider for our CPUs. So when we heard the customers, this was really something that they were looking for. So we wanted to remove that barrier to help you scale your solutions. And lastly, to continue to move this immersion ecosystem forward, we contributed to OCP, the Open Compute Project, a base fluid specification for immersion fluids. You can envision there's hundreds of fluids, maybe even thousands out there. Validation, and we all know validation configurations in this room can drive, a huge cost for a developer. So how do you provide some assurance for the community? And that's what we tried to define in a community like OCP. And then we can build upon that together. We challenge the fluid industry to invent ever more environmentally friendly fluids with higher thermal performance. So to complete our look at data centers, we'll talk about edge and modularity. And we also have another specification through OCP, which is modularity in hardware systems. So this is not just something that exists on paper. There are real systems being built today, like the one you see here from JBill, a density optimized Mustang system, and we expect to see many more modular servers in the coming generations in the next several years. This is going to transform the e-waste landscape and the market as a whole, because you're enabling now the replacement of componentry in a disaggregated system, and that's going to enable decoupled refresh rates as well. So, going back to that services mindset, how do we all grow our businesses and help the customers really lower their footprint? There's a lot of opportunity in these future spaces. The last piece we'll talk about is at the edge. So with more and more devices at the edge, the importance can't be underestimated of the growth of data there. In fact, Gartner predicts by 2025 that over 50% of the data generated, created, and processed is going to happen outside of a data center in a cloud. So when that happens, we know that networking becomes a really key component of edge computing. The 4th gen Xeon Scalable processor has another one of those built-in accelerators I talked about, and we call it vRAN Boost, Virtual Radio Access Network Boost, and that delivers 2x capacity for the network throughput. This is incredible performance advantage over just our own last generation. And we have select SKUs with the 4th gen vRAN Boost, and it improves the TCO by eliminating the adding card as well. So you get performance advantage, cost savings, carbon energy reduction. In fact, the vRAN power reduction was 20%, and that's above and beyond the energy efficiency gains that you already get on the base level Xeon platform of 4th gen. What you see here are a couple of partner solutions that I'd like to highlight, and they also are focused on reducing electricity consumption, and that is Ace Energy. They have energy saving controllers, solar controllers, and energy storage controllers powered by Intel. And Advantech has energy management solutions for carbon reduction, power management, and more with a visualization dashboard. Lastly, in European trials, with an intracom telecom solution for 5G using telemetry-based AI on Xeon processors and some of the power management tools that we've talked about, they were able to reduce the power consumption of that network by 20%. They did this by using AI to predict the virtual network traffic function, loads, and automatically tune the CPU frequency. The savings are significant, obtainable, and great for sustainability. So to hear more about innovations in the data center, I'd like to invite Mike Yang to join me on stage. He is the SVP and GM of Quanta and the president of QCT. Thanks for joining us today, Mike.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike. Quanta QCT. I think that we have been working with Intel over the years, not only just the leading silicon platform solutions, but also, we, excuse me, it's not only just that, but also like optimized software solution with open API, and also like the excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry, that's something wrong. And also workload optimization with Granulate. But also, we are paying great attention to the related subject, to the sustainability.
Excellent. So we know both Intel and QCT have been deeply engaged on sustainability and related projects. Can you tell us a little bit more about our joint collaborations?
Sure. I think showed on the slides there's a big rack there. I like to call out a very exciting project. That is QCT's rack level direct-to-chip cooling solution. That's called the Cool Rack, QOOL rack, Cool Rack. There are actually several liquid cooling solutions. That's including the direct-to-chip cold plate solution. One is dual phase immersion, and also single phase immersion cooling. But I think each of them do have their pros and cons. But I think, from the QCT's point of view, we do believe cold plate solution is what we can fulfill customers' requirement now. And the most important thing is Cool Rack is ready to ship. This cooling solution can help customers achieve almost 70% of the power savings from the rack level point of view. And the more important thing is, with this kind of solution, you don't need to have power-hungry facilities like HVAC. So in this case, the Cool Rack can improve the POE down to 1.07. More important, with QCT's designed CTU and also built-in DC SCM, that enables smart power management based on the real workload. Even better, Cool Rack can work with existing air cooling racks. So you don't need to change your data center infrastructure. And another thing is, it's actually an optimized solution that is already validated by Intel 4th generation Xeon CPU. So I think, again, most important thing is it's available right now.
That is the most important thing. That's tremendous innovation. So great to see such an awesome design with the 4th gen Xeon. And I'm looking forward to the best performance per watt story from QCT. How about the edge? Can you share some more?
Sure. I think the edge. We have a complete end-to-end product portfolio from the data center to the edge. With a better understanding of the sustainability, we fully understand that power saving management at the edge side has become very important. And we want to make sure QCT's edge product can be green and also carbon awareness. We appreciate the chance to work with Intel, developing a power saving management turnkey solution with QCT's edge product. This is actually on our cloud native platform. And this turnkey solution is utilizing Intel's power management, power saving features, such as Power Kit, Power Insight Kit, streaming telemetry insight provider. While monitoring hardware and the software platform, we can effectively generate the power consumption related insight for resources management. With our power efficient turnkey solution, it can collect, manage, and also visualize the power information, and it gives us a dashboard view of our carbon report. It also shares how much power has been consumed by the CPU, memory, and the whole system, together with estimated power saving and the carbon dioxide emission. So, I think, I'm very happy to be here, because I think for those two solutions I mentioned, actually we have a live demo at the other side. So please, I encourage everybody take a look, and this is something that you can see right now, and it's ready to ship. And the most important thing is thank you, for joining this, for inviting this, and then one more thing, really appreciate the chance, to work with Intel for this kind of a big partnership and collaboration.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mike, for sharing your story and continued partnerships to build sustainable data centers in the future.
Thank you.
And today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. All right, we're coming near our end, and we might be a little bit behind, but I do want to spend time on this last topic briefly to let you know that software, you heard it throughout the presentation, is a critical component. In fact, it's estimated that up to 30% of the cycles are wasted, and software can help to minimize the energy footprint across the workloads. What you're seeing here in this example is a carbon-aware software solution, and it shows you that when the wind and the sun are shining, the carbon intensity for the common workload is only 120. And when you move to a nighttime, when that goes away, if there aren't battery storage solutions for that renewable electricity, it can go up to 350. So this is a great example. It could be 3x the carbon footprint for the same workload, depending on the carbon intensity of the energy source that workload is running on. The next piece talks about workload efficiency. This can also provide a sustainable advantage. The example that you see here is with Kubernetes. There is telemetry-aware scheduling that it's working upon, and the workload scaling with Kubernetes Power Manager works with those features inside the Xeon, those P and C states, and uses enhanced speed select technology, so you can select a power profile. So really think about how power plays a role. Mike talked about Granulate. This is a really new acquisition from Intel that we're excited that will do real-time continuous optimization of your public cloud instances. This will enable you to, optimize the footprint, which is not only going to lower cost, it's going to lower your energy consumption as well. So I encourage you to take a look at some of these solutions from Intel. And as we move forward together, there are just so many innovations. And with your support, with your expertise, we challenge one another to work in these areas and to drive even greater impact across platforms, design, power optimizations, component reductions, bio-based motherboards so that they can be recycled, as well as lower carbon motherboards through the modularity solutions, making these liquid solutions better and ready for scale, and of course that workload optimization on the hardware. So important. We talked at the beginning about one of those challenges was the standards. And so these are the places where we are convening with other industry partners like you and with our customers. We want to align in a few common places across the ICT ecosystem so that together we can drive the largest impact. The most important changes, of course, back to energy, are in that renewable electricity. The faster we can scale and accelerate renewable energy around the globe together, the faster, we're going to get to this vision that we have together. Low carbon platforms, we can drive together in these places like OCP, and then some of those carbon accounting methodologies. You see MIT listed here. We want to contribute, methodologies so that we can share them across the ecosystem, and then we have a common baseline